Hi, I'm Kaylin Breton. I'm in 5th grade and I'm in Miss Pullman's class.
Hello, my name is Christopher Koslowski. I am in 3rd grade and my class is Miss Tumpa.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Nieves. I'm a kindergarten teacher here at Tanglewood Elementary, and we're here to talk about me a little bit and some questions you guys might have about what I've been going through. Kaylin has started a club here at Tanglewood Elementary and has been helping us out. She wants to tell you a little bit about it.
Well, I'm starting it with Miss Hartman and Miss Kozowski, and we will let you know when it's time you can come.
And join in your club, right?
Yes.
Perfect. But at this point, she's selling bookmarks. Where can you get those?
You can get those at Miss Storm's room. Every morning from 7:25 to 7:50, we're going to be selling them, and the money goes to Miss Nieves.
Perfect. Nieves, thank you.
Miss Nieves, I've heard you've been going through cancer, and I want to know what cancer is. Do you know what it is?
That's a great question. I'm going to give you my version of what I think cancer is because there's all different kinds of cancers and there's so many questions that go along with it. So what I would say cancer is there are cells in your body that are good, and then sometimes there's cells in your body that are bad, and sometimes the bad cells want to attack all the good ones. And I would say that's what cancer is. They're bad cells in your body that want to attack all the good cells and make you not feel very good.
So it's kind of like a war between cells.
I would think that's a good way to put it, yeah.
Miss Nieves, what happens when you have cancer?
So initially when I had cancer the first time around, like I mentioned before, I was really itchy. It popped up in places that I could see it, but I also get very tired. So as I go through the chemotherapy to try to get rid of the cancer, I'll just feel very tired. I might lay around the house and watch some movies, maybe read some books. I love catching up on reading. And what happens when I have cancer? I just don't feel that great, you know? I just want to lay around and snuggle up and sleep a lot. But once it starts to go away, once the chemotherapy's done and it starts to go away, my body bounces back and I feel a lot better. So I was feeling really good over the summer and at the beginning of the school year, but then after the school year started this year, I found out that my cancer came back and I felt great. I didn't even know that I had cancer. I'm doing my teaching and I'm hanging out with my students and having a good time, and I didn't even know I had it. But so we found out that I had it the second time because every 6 months I have to get something called a CAT scan, which basically I go through a machine and it takes a picture of your whole body. And whoever has cancer, no matter what, every 6 months for 5 years, you have to have one of these scans to make sure it doesn't come back. So it was my turn to have one of the scans. I just thought it was a routine scan. I'll go in and still be fine because I still felt fine. You know, I don't feel itchy or anything this time around. So when I went in for my scan, all of a sudden I came back saying, hey, you have this again, you have cancer again. And so I was like, oh, goodness, I was really upset in the beginning because it's just not fun to go through. But once I realized that, you know, I've got this again, I can't just do nothing, we have to get rid of it, right? So I went back to the doctor. We have a plan now to get rid of it the second time around. The plan the second time is not the same as the first time, but it's still a really good plan. So hopefully we're going to do the chemotherapy that I need, and I'm also going to get something called a stem cell transplant, which we talked about it a little bit before we started interviewing, but basically they clean my blood because the type of cancer that I have is a blood cancer. The cancer lives in my blood. So it has to clean out all the blood and make sure that there's no more cancer left in it. So they filter my blood and put it back inside me. And then I recover and get stronger and start feeling better, and hopefully that helps and makes it go away.
Well, hi, Miss Nieves. I was wondering how did you get cancer?
So that's a great question too. So I don't know how I got cancer. It's kind of a mystery. Sometimes it just pops up in your body and I all of a sudden didn't feel very good. Sometimes you get different symptoms that tell you that you have cancer, but right away you might not realize that's what it is. Like last year when I first had cancer, the first time, because this is the second time I've had cancer, the first time my whole body was super itchy. It was like ants were crawling under my skin and I just needed to itch them everywhere. It did not feel good. So that was the first symptom that I had. And then the second symptom was I had bumps pop up on my neck and throat. They're just lumps kind of that you could feel, and that's how we found out that I actually have the cancer. It popped up and let me know that it was there.
Miss Nieves, what kind of cancer do you have?
I have Hodgkin's lymphoma. So there's all different kinds of cancers. It can be pretty much anywhere in your body. And I'm sure you've heard of a lot of different kinds of cancers like breast cancer or something along those lines. So mine is Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it actually lives in my blood. The cancer lives in my blood. And there's something called lymph nodes that cleans your blood through your body. And so my lymph nodes are what pop up, I guess I would say. So they'll pop up in my neck and I can actually feel them. And they're also in my chest. They were trying to filter the blood, but they couldn't, so they're full of cancer now because the cancer was in my blood. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if I would have known that I had cancer for a long time if I didn't get the CT scan. I don't know if I would have gotten other symptoms like I would have been itchy again, or maybe they would have popped up so I could feel them, or I am feeling tired. Like if I worked all day long, I don't have a lot of energy after work. But that's really the only reason that I could tell that I even have cancer even a little bit. I feel pretty normal.
Where is it in your body?
So right now it's in my neck and it's in my chest, but it's nowhere else. So a lot of times they talk about stages of cancer. So mine's a stage 2 because it's just in my chest, it's nowhere else, but it could potentially be like in my stomach or my diaphragm or somewhere around there, but it's not there. So it could be worse. I'm at a stage 2 right now. I think stage 4 or 5 is the worst, so I'm not doing too bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miss Nieves, when you got cancer before, how did you get it again?
So the first time around when I had cancer, we treated the cancer to try to get it to go away with something called chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a type of drug that's put in your body that kills all the good cells and all the bad cells in your body. So it makes me feel super tired, and I kind of lay around and sleep a lot and kind of achy and sore in my body, kind of like I have the flu. But then once it kills all the bad cells and all the good cells, we can stop doing it, and then I get to recover and get strong again, and my good cells come back and I feel better. But then sometimes also there might be a couple of the bad cells left in there, and if the bad cells are left in there, if the chemotherapy didn't kill all of it, then some of it can still come back. And so I think that's what happened with me. I think that there were a couple cells left in my body that were like, heck no, you aren't done with cancer yet, and it came back, and so now we have to fight it again.
What about if somebody sick comes in? Would you get sick too?
Because the chemotherapy kills all my good cells and the bad cells?
Mm-hmm.
Very possible, yes. So if somebody is sick, so say you have the cold and you're sneezing and coughing everywhere, and I come in and I'm like, Kaylin, it's nice to see you, and I give you a hug, then sometimes I might get really sick too. If I catch the cold you had and you're kind of sick, I'll get super sick. Like I'll be really sick. So we don't want that. So if you know that somebody's going through chemotherapy and you have a cold, it's best to just give them a nice wave from far away, so that way they don't catch the cold you have and it makes them more sick. Good question.
Miss Nieves, how long will the cancer last?
So the first time I had cancer last year, I got it in October. Actually, I probably started getting it in August because I started itching in August, but I didn't know I actually had cancer until October. And then it lasted until March. So let's think. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 8 months. Not bad. Not quite a year. You know, it's doable. This time around, I would guess that it's about the same. It's October right now. I found out that I had it in September. And we're guessing that I will be done with my chemotherapy treatments and done with the stem cell transplant and starting to recover in the spring. So we're hoping that I should be pretty healthy by March or April. So if we think September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 7, April, maybe 8. So it should last about 8 months for me. Now again, we mentioned earlier that there's a lot of different types of cancer, so it might be different for somebody else that has a different kind of cancer. But for me with Hodgkin's lymphoma, for right now we're thinking it'll be about 8 months, and hopefully I'll be recovering and feeling good after that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to come back to school this school year by the end of the year or not, because, you know, I started the school year here. I have to take time off to get this taken care of because I'll be way too tired to entertain my students. So hopefully I'll be able to come back by the end of the school year, but if not, I am personally planning on coming back at the beginning of next school year and feeling good.
Miss Nieves, is there a very high possibility that you're going to survive the cancer?
Yes, well I did the first time around, and that's a great way to put it using the word survive. I feel like there is no chance that I won't survive it, so I am sure that I'm going to make it through the cancer and feel good and not even worry about all the other bad thoughts that could pop in your mind. I know that you've probably heard of people that have passed away from cancer because it can be very dangerous. So if you don't know that you have it and it gets to a certain point that you can't treat it, I mean, that's very possible. But I found my cancer at a good time. We know what we have to do to treat it, and we know how to make me feel better. So I'm not worried about not surviving cancer. So thank you everybody who has been supporting me and my family. It's been a lot to go through, but thanks to wonderful people like Kaylin and Christopher for raising money for us, or anybody who bought t-shirts or sent us a nice thank you card, or even just are praying for us and, I don't know, helping us in any way possible. We appreciate every little thing that you do and love you so much, and I can't wait to get back at Tanglewood to start teaching again and see you guys.
Miss Nieves, I can't wait till you come back.
Good! And what are we going to do when we get back?
We're going to celebrate!